Hey, and welcome to another edition of Trying Knoxville. Mike Roberts along with you during the pandemic scares we're talking about right now. Not a usual guest that we have today, is when I say, because he's always traveling during the week, but he's on travel restrictions. The rest of the world is too. He flies all over the country. But Brian Stickle with us today. And Brian, first of all, welcome home, because you are only home on weekends, and this is the middle of the week.
Yes.
So this is kind of a rare appearance. But second of all, let's rewind back, and we'll bring you all the way forward a little bit here eventually. But you grew up in Marion County, just down the road.
Yes, Pleasantville. Graduated from Pleasantville High School in 1978. I'd love to say with flying colors, but I squeaked by.
Sweet by? I like that. And then you took off. I don't know, how many years afterwards you graduated before you took off?
Yeah, I think it was around 1983.
Okay.
Took off to Vermont to manage a little bicycle shop in Putney, Vermont, the West Hill shop. And we started mountain bike racing here in Iowa, but started a mountain bike race at Mount Snow, Vermont, which eventually became a National Series event and a World Cup. And then in 1991, I took a job with the National Off-Road Bicycle Association.
Okay.
To be the competition manager for that organization, which is part of USA Cycling in Colorado Springs, Colorado. And fortunately, or luckily, we got mountain biking into the 1996 Olympic Games for the first time ever. And then I was then executive on loan to the Atlanta Committee for the Olympic Games for that event. But at the same time, just before that event happened, I took a job back in Iowa for the Greater Des Moines Sports Authority to be their executive director of that organization, because they just completed a successful junior Olympic event just a year before. So after completion of the 96 Olympic Games, then moved back to Iowa to do that, and did that for a little while, and then decided to go drag racing. Got a job as Pacific Division Manager for the National Hot Rod Association, Pacific Division Director.
What year are we talking about right about now then?
So that's 99, 2001.
Okay, so the first 17 years of you leaving Iowa, you kind of went East Coast to West Coast, and then back to the middle again, and then spread out again with the drag racing.
Yeah, something like that.
You couldn't land.
No, so, drag racing was cool. I didn't,
Yeah.
We used to mud drag race with, the Fouch boys and,
Right.
and kind of all over the Midwest anyway. And then that was my experience in drag racing. But then this opportunity came about and took that and lived out in California for 3 years, being the Pacific Division Director, and, throughout California, Nevada, Utah, Arizona, Western Mexico. And then following that gig, I heard this super duper fantastic job come open, which was executive director of the Knoxville Chamber of Commerce.
And that's where we met.
That's where we met on the very first day. Mike Roberts was responding to he was on an emergency crew. He was responding to a call. I was pulling up to my office for the first day down Main Street, right past Coffee Connection.
Yep.
Mike Roberts' office used to be in Rick Van Donster's building there. He whips out, backs out around the corner, rounds the corner from where I was coming. No way this guy's going to hit me. Well, sure enough, he did.
Yeah. Well, welcome to Knoxville.
Gets out of his car and said, "Sorry, I'm Mike Roberts.
Yeah, I'll be back.
I'll be back, but I got to go on this call." I said, "No problem. I'm in the office just around the corner here."
Yeah. And that's exactly the way it happened, too. We came back later on, and you came in as the executive director of Chamber of Commerce. First of all, traveling all over the nation, and not just traveling for a factory job or traveling for an insurance job or any other job. You had some pretty exciting stuff going on with racing and everything else. What brought you back to Knoxville as a chamber director?
So primarily, we wanted to raise our kids in Iowa.
Right.
Having been East Coast, West Coast, there's no better place to bring up your kids than Knoxville, Iowa. This is one of the best places you can have your kids. They learn good ideals, and from those good ideals, they're able to come up with good ideas.
Right.
So, Candy and I are very thankful and grateful for our 5 children, and are so lucky that how successful they are and how good they do. But we attribute a lot of that to where they grew up, the people they encountered, the people in this town, and the trouble they got into, and what they learned from that trouble.
Yeah, that's one thing about small town Knoxville. If you get in trouble, everybody's going to know about it the next day. So
That's right.
you came in as director. How long were you there? 2 years?
2.5 years.
2.5 years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the transfer over to Knoxville Raceway.
Yeah, so then there was an opportunity at the Knoxville Raceway. Ralph, we'd worked together a little bit before, just with the chamber trying to promote the racetrack, and opportunity came over for the director of marketing. I got hired for the racetrack, and then was with them for just under 10 years, between director of marketing and sales, and then promoter, managing director, I don't know, whatever you want to call it.
Top dog.
I don't know about that.
I called you boss. I know that. I still do. So you did a lot of traveling around with Knoxville Raceway, too, as far as promotion is concerned. In fact, you got me involved in it as well back in 2012. And some of the events we got to do together, sometimes we didn't get to do them together. But one of the things, and again, the main purpose of Try Knoxville is to get people to try out Knoxville. And you're a prime example of what I refer to. You grew up in the area. You moved away from home, but something drew you back here, and exactly what you talked about. I mean, the atmosphere, the ideals. I mean, if you had a chance to say something right now to somebody as far as, let's talk about the kids. First of all, Jess is still around here, I know.
Yes, so she's a doctor at the hospital with 21st Century Rehab. Yep.
So where's Robert at?
Robert works from his home in West Des Moines now.
Still an Iowa boy, though.
Still in Iowa, working for a computer company. Abby's working for...
he keeps speaking off the side because Candy's over here. She's watching, too. So.
IP Pathways, which is a software company, basically, or software consulting company. And Maddie's in Omaha, Council Bluffs area, so very close to Iowa.
Right.
But doing a lot of medical cancer research, just doing phenomenal things. And Lance just got married and is down in Florida.
He's hanging out on the beach still.
Head of IT for a very prestigious organization.
Yeah. They've all very successful, and I'll tell you what, the Iowa roots is what causes that. I mean, you said it best, the ideals and everything else. As far as marketing Knoxville, I know you spent a lot of years not just marketing Knoxville Raceway, but obviously with the chamber as well. What's been the toughest challenge, do you think, and what's changed so much just since you started clear back in the Chamber of Commerce days?
So one thing we've always had a challenge is celebrating our successes. We have many successes here in town, and collectively as a community, I think it's getting better, but it's still a struggle that when somebody starts a new business, we need to congratulate them. We need to say, welcome to the community. How can we help you? How can we support you? How can we send people your way and you send people our way? And that's what we struggle to do. And I don't know if it's fear of new business or fear of your neighbor, jealousy. It's hard to say, but we do not support each other enough.
One thing I've noticed too, and it's better. I will agree, it's gotten better of that, but still, it's a big mountain to climb. That's almost in every community, it seems like anymore. Though, is it because of the social styles that we live in, or like you said, the fear of the unknown? Or I don't get the whole new business thing.
Yeah, I think it's in large part, I think it's this whole team mentality. You're for this, I'm for something else. We're on different teams. We're not. We're on the same team.
Right.
We're on the same team of humanity, of people, of trying to help each other. We're not, we're not against each other in this respect or that respect. It's that we're all really striving for the same thing together. Again, the ideals, it's how do we get there to achieve those things together. And it's not by tearing each other down and tearing each other apart. That accomplishes nothing. So, we're cautious in our businesses that we always need to stay positive. Candy's been in business for 35 years almost, 37 years. And, with the AMP has been in business, we're on our 5th year now. And we want to succeed and grow here in Knoxville. And we try and help as much as we can as many different organizations, and we just encourage everybody else to do the same.
You bounced ahead on me. Let's go ahead and talk about that. You left Knoxville Raceway. You're with Weiler. They got you traveling all over the place. But you also started up another business for yourself and for Candy. Both of you at the A&P business. She had the Candy's Flowers just down the street originally from where your location is now.
Yes.
And you bought a building on the square. First of all, and I'll guarantee everybody thinks, why in the world would you buy anything on the square? Downtown Iowa's dying, but really and truly, downtown Iowa's not that bad around here still. It could be better, but it's starting to pick back up.
So Candy and I have known each other for a very long time, and we talk a lot. And what we have talked about in the past is what could be done to improve the community. What needs to be done? You know, if we just had this, or if we just had that, then things would be better. Well, you know, we started that conversation 20 years ago, and it was we didn't have many resources. Now, as we get older, we have more resources. We decided, okay, let's put our money where our mouth is and try and make things better.
Right.
So she needed more space. We knew that. That's one of the primary reasons we bought that building. But then also we were looking for a place to live. You know, if it could be downtown, great. We weren't quite sure what we were going to do with the third space yet. She took 2 of the business spaces. And then, you know, as we traveled around a little bit, we decided, well, maybe we can open, you know, we traveled to Des Moines always to go out. Why don't we build something here where we can stay home and go out, and maybe people want the same things we do.
Right.
So we decided to put our money where our mouth is and make the investment in the community, and we're, you know, this is where we're going to live the rest of our lives. This is our community, and we want to make it as good as we can, and we want to help other people achieve their goals in this community as well.
You decided to start up A&P. And A&P, first of all, where did A&P come from? Let's get the history on the name. I know it, but let's tell everybody else where the history came from.
The Atlantic and Pacific Pub.
Right.
So basically, the Atlantic and Pacific Dry Goods Company was here in town, and
many moons ago.
Many moons ago, and we were struggling with the name. We were going to call it Brandy's, Brine and Candies. We thought that was cute, but we decided not to. Our kids decided that would be stupid, and so did we. But then we took a trip out to Washington, D.C. with Maddie and her boyfriend, and we were just walking around on the mall by the Capitol, and we came across one of the displays that said Atlantic and Pacific right across the top, and it's like, well, there it is.
Yeah, right in front of you.
That's what we have to do. And it is exactly the same distance from Priest Point, Nova Scotia, to somewhere in Washington. We're right in the middle.
Right in the middle.
1,837 miles.
But I'm not going to argue with you on that. You could have told me halfway to Italy. I wouldn't know. So,
yeah.
Been open. This coming up on your 5th year. Why? And again, you put your money where your mouth is, but it was a big risk. I mean, a lot of money. You did a huge remodeling. I mean,
Yes.
It was the old Rankin Furniture building we're talking about. It's on the corner of 3rd and Main.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even meant to be what you turned it into. I mean, it just was a building.
Yeah, there had been a lot of changes in that building. There was a lot we had to, I mean, they built walls, you know, it was 3 storefronts with 2x6 walls in between. We had to tear all that out and renovate all that. But the bones to the building were pretty solid. The ceiling was all pretty much there, the tin ceiling, and what wasn't there, we found the panels in the building. And, you know, again, now it's our home and our businesses. There's weeks Candy doesn't even have to leave the building to go to work. And sometimes she doesn't, I think.
Yeah.
I don't know.
You never know. We'll leave that alone. That sounds like a different conversation at the time.
But yeah, so we felt if we made this investment, maybe other people would do the same, and other people have, and hopefully they continue to do that, and because that's the only thing that's going to keep our community strong. You know, there's many examples, and you know them, and many people know them, of why people stay here, why people want to be in Knoxville, why they choose Marion County. You know, we're Knoxville, but truly we're Marion County.
Right.
I mean, with the lake, with the racetrack, with Tulip Time, with all the events we have within this community that happen weekly, and the great schools we have, and just the support. We have great hospitals, we have great rescue and police departments and sheriff's departments, and everybody looks out for each other in that respect. But it's the business part of it that needs to come together a little better.
Yeah, one time we're talking about right now, and you're going to do a lot of traveling with your job. You're parked right now because of the whole coronavirus thing. But when you're out traveling, I have this funny feeling, and correct me if I'm wrong, when you're not working for the company, you're still working for Knoxville. You're telling people about hometown Knoxville. We do,
yeah. We do. You and I, how many years did we travel around to those World of Wheels shows? And we went as far as Pittsburgh,
right,
St. Louis,
Chicago area,
and just the people you would meet there. You'd meet a lot of old guys that oh yeah, I've been there. You meet a lot of new people, and that was a great way to get out there and spread the word and say, yeah, just come check us out. And that's what we still have to do. You're still doing, I can tell. I mean, just going to a restaurant or whatever you're doing when you're traveling, you're still talking about Knoxville. And Weiler also brings people into Knoxville, and besides the job wise, I mean, you guys have, I know you fill up the hotel. I can't tell you how many times a year, bringing your customers in, bringing other people in. I mean, not just United States wise, but worldwide. Weiler's such a great company, and it's hard to express in a short amount of time the good things that they do, but they're really truly a leader in the industry of manufacturing in terms of asphalt paving. And right now we have over 500 employees, right, which grew in quite a short time, yeah, and continues to expand. So the impact they have on the community is phenomenal. They're one of the biggest employers in Marion County, and the employees that they hire, they're always recruiting as well. Those people need something to do when they're not working as well. So they want good restaurants, they want good bars, if you will. They want a flower shop, they want good schools, they want recreational trails. Things people don't always think about. When people want to move to this community, what are they looking for? They're looking for things to do and good schools and good health care. Yeah, there's more to life than the 8-hour shift at work. They want to do stuff outside of the box, if you will. How excited, and I think I know the answer to this, but the VA development project that's getting ready to happen. The county came in with the city, they merged on this deal, and they're talking about knocking some buildings down, seriously getting after it and building some houses. And I know Weiler Manufacturing itself was desperate for housing for this area. How exciting is it for the company right now? I can't speak for the company itself. I think it's exciting for our community as a whole. Right. Any development, the housing seems to go elsewhere all the time. And there's no reason it shouldn't be right here. Right. We need the revenue, we need the resources. It just takes some vision, some investment, and everybody pulling in the same direction. This is an opportunity if you're a contractor too to come into Knoxville, even if you're not a local contractor. If you're in the Des Moines area or you're anywhere in the state of Iowa or whatever, there's going to be a lot of housing going on in Knoxville here in the next 5, 10, 20 years. I mean, I can see people moving into town just to start building houses. I see that in the future because we need it all. We need senior living, we need residential, we need that market of the $200,000 house, $175,000 to $250,000 house that everybody can afford, and we have good contractors here in town, but we don't have enough of them. Right. If we had to pop up 20, 30 houses right now, it'd be a struggle. So I guess that's my invitation for everybody to come in and play. Yeah. No, there's plenty of opportunity right here. You just have to look for it and then act on it. You're always thinking, I know you are, and you're always planning the next big thing. What's the next big thing other than surviving the next couple of weeks is a big thing with the bar being shut down. Yeah, and that's what we're trying to do. Depending on what happens, we started a good event last year, the Knoxville Welcome to the Nationals Party, on Tuesday of the 410 Nationals. We're going to do that again, get more drivers downtown, have a live band, just make it a big party on Tuesday night. Everybody's invited. There's no cover charge for anybody, and we're just going to grow that. So that's one big thing we're looking towards for 2020. And again, just growing the businesses little by little.
Got some other outdoor events coming up, because I know you like to take it to the street once in a while too.
We do. We're trying to figure out what makes sense, what time. We don't want to overdo it. So we'll do a few. We just haven't planned them yet. So once we get past this little stretch here, we'll figure out a good schedule.
I know you're waiting for the bar to reopen like everybody else is. I know I'm waiting for the bar to reopen too, by the way. But when this gets back into what we call normalcy, if you had one opportunity, if you had 30 seconds to sit down and talk to somebody, give me the Brian Stickle pitch of why they should come to Knoxville, not only to visit, but to move to Knoxville.
Again, it's the people. The people really make the place what it is. You know, there's lots to do, whether it's Knoxville Raceway, whether it's shopping in Knoxville, in Pella, in Marion County. If you love the lake, love the water, there's plenty to do here. You're close to airports. You're close to more shopping, but it's the people you meet here, the people you encounter, the people that will help you out day in and day out that make Knoxville what it is. And until you experience it, it's hard to even imagine.
All right. Hey, we appreciate you coming in. As always, good to see you. Hopefully see you a lot more as soon as the bar opens up.
Thanks, Mike.
Whenever that happens.
We appreciate all you do.
We try it, all right? Brian Stickle, again, owner of him and Candy. I always got to remember Candy's involved in this thing, too.
Yes.
She's got Candy's Flowers. They both got A&P. And we invite everybody to come to Knoxville and try out Knoxville. We'll see you next time.